Hi everyone, welcome back to No Sugar with Everything Krause. Hi sister.
Hi sister. Happy.
Hi sister. Yes. We just like call each other sister.
Kira and I literally call each other sister now.
My sister.
Wait. I just literally restated what you said. You were like, we like calling each other sister. And I was like, yeah, we call each other sister now.
We do that often. Like,
no further explanation.
when I'm editing, there's sometimes I just want to punch the screen because I'm like, Isabel, I just said that. Or I repeat the exact same thing you just said. But I'm trying to simplify it. But I actually just say the same thing. And I'm like,
it's like, we didn't need to do that.
You didn't need to do that. So there's always room for improvement, people. You know, we're 60-something episodes in, but there's still room for improvement here.
Mm-hmm.
And repeating each other is one of those
like
areas.
this. What did you just say?
Yeah, repeating each other is one of those areas that we can improve on. But now I don't want to call out the obvious too much because you guys are going to pay attention to it. We have the giggles today, so we're trying to decide who's going to start this episode. Okay, here we go. Today we want to talk about how to pull yourself out of a lack mindset. There's Isabel, just laughing at me.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's fine. I just knew that you guys would be, if you were watching on YouTube right now, you will literally be like, what the hell is Isabel doing? You would not be paying attention to what Katira was saying because I had this sneaky little grin on my face. And then as soon as I looked over to my side of the screen and saw that, I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's like laughing at ourselves.
Gotta wipe it. All right, continue.
Wait,
Today we are talking about what, Katira?
Wait, hold on. What? What is happening? What was that?
Oh my god.
All right, we'll be right back. So since Isabel brought it up, if you are watching on YouTube, give this video a thumbs up, like it, send it, share it with a friend, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're not already. And yeah, thank you for all your love and support so far. And now let's get into the episode. So, like I said, we want to talk about how to really pull yourself out of a lack mindset. We use that word so often, mindset, and then I also feel like we do use lack because it has such a negative connotation to it. Mm-hmm. So in my mind, like whenever I'm feeling down or negative, it's because I'm coming from a lack perspective, and it can apply to so many different areas of life. It doesn't really have to be like one specific area. I think like I can apply it in really all areas if I chose to look at it from a negative lack way. Mm-hmm. So trying to pull yourself out of that can be a challenge. It can be super difficult, but I know that we really try and do it whenever we are feeling negative or feeling down. We try and pull ourselves out of it as quickly as possible because living in that lack headspace can really cause turmoil in so many different areas. I feel like internally on your body, when you're living in that space, your body holds on to everything, and then that affects everything internally, which is going to affect you externally and then in other situations. So going into the summer, like we don't want any lack mindset. Like I always think about summer as like this fresh new start. So I feel like this is a good time to talk about it too. And like getting out of your own way as like the warmer weather comes, more opportunities, like a new awakening is how I'm viewing it.
Well, and it's so important to pull yourself out of this headspace because, as Kateri said, like it does wreak havoc on the body, but it also is kind of that saying of like you're standing in your own way. Like this is one of those examples of when you may be standing in your own way because the more and more you're like thinking about what you're lacking, that's kind of the energy you are putting out there. So now you're putting out that lack energy, like you're not putting out abundance, gratitude, like things coming to you. So I feel like every time I'm in a lack headspace, I start to notice like the things in my life kind of not downward spiral, but not really go the direction I wanted. It's not like it's bad, but it's not abundant. It's not fruitful. It's not like vibrant. So I feel like it's just really important to make sure you're pulling yourself out of that. And I think the first step to do that is identify when you are in a lack mindset, right? Like what does a lack mindset look like for you and I, Kateri?
Yeah, like almost backtracking to where did it begin? Because like you said, it can spiral to a lot of different areas of your life, but where did it originally stem from? So I think an example that I can give here is I've talked about this in like my 2024 goals, back in January in that episode, but one of my goals this year is to really like get my finances in check. I'm turning 25 in June. you get to this age where you just realize like I have to take my financial situation like more responsibly almost. And I think a lot of people my age go through that where they're like, whoa, I never really learned about all this, so I kind of have to like figure it out myself. So anyway, financials is a very common, everyone has to deal with money. No matter who you are, you have to deal with money. So it's a very common denominator amongst many people, but we all handle it in different ways. And I feel a lot of lack sometimes with it when I like see my credit card bills or my car payment, going to get groceries. So there's just so many little moments that can really get you down sometimes when it comes to money, especially if financially you're not like where you want to be yet. Or, you know, sometimes you have highs where you're like making good money, and sometimes you have lows where you feel like all you're doing is like paying off debt. And that can be discouraging. So sometimes I find myself like sitting in the, oh my gosh, I don't have enough money. Oh my God, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to be able to afford the life I want to live? How am I going to move out of home? Like, it can go down so many rabbit holes of like spiraling into this. I'm never going to be able to move on with my life because of the situation I'm in right now. And that can then lead me to like freaking out about my career, freaking out about like my day to day, being productive. It literally affects every little thing. And I think money is one of those things that does that. But living in that lack mindset of like, I don't have enough and I never will, is now affecting my relationship with like the rest of my life. And then that turns on my career. And then I'm questioning everything that I'm doing. Am I on the right path? Am I doing the right thing? Is this going to make me enough money? And it puts such a damper on your life. And it's so hard to, like, when I'm in that lack mindset, I am miserable. And I can tell like how I'm interacting with even like my family or Tyler or like anything. Like, I'm just in a bad mood. Like, I literally have a bad taste in my mouth, and I'm like, it's because I'm like stressing about money right now.
Yeah. Going off about what you said, how it like affects other areas of your life, that is so true. I feel like it kind of places a limiting belief, right? Like, what a lack mindset is, it creates a invisible limiting belief that you may not even recognize, but you're so focused on what you don't have and not having enough that now you're not seeing yourself kind of getting anywhere in life where you would have enough, right? So that's a new limiting belief that you created, which I know we talked about last episode, but those limiting beliefs, like, they kind of like crush your dreams. So when you don't believe that you're gonna ever have enough money to pay off your debt or live the life that you need to live, like, that stinks. It puts me in a bad mood too, you know, and you kind of move through a beautiful day but feeling very doom and gloom because all you can focus on is what you don't have. And I think the hardest thing about it, especially with finances, because I know we're talking about finances in particular right now, well, with you, the hardest thing about it is that like it's very hard to not think with the lack mindset when you don't have it. It's like, okay, well, my water bill is due tomorrow. How am I supposed to pay that if I literally don't have the money to do it? Like, how do you want me to not think like a lack mindset because I don't have it? You know, that's where I think I struggle with it the most, because in all different areas, like, I feel the lack mindset because I don't have it and I need it. I need it urgently for something. I'm not just talking about finances. Like, I'm getting to summer, like, oh, I have a lack mindset. Like, I'm not as muscular as I want. Like, that's another example of having a lack mindset. But it's because summer's approaching. I need the muscle quickly. Like, what do I do? Like, that's what puts me into the lack headspace. And I just think that's why it's so hard. Like, 'cause it's easy to get caught up in that.
And when you're in those situations too, it's like we've said so many times, it can go down two different paths. If you want to choose to stay in this, like, looking at it from I don't have what I need or what I want yet, it's going to take you down a terrible path. But if you try to look at it as like the finances, bring it back there. Okay, I have a bill due tomorrow. Well, that water bill was in exchange for water to drink, to shower in, to wash my hands, to go to the bathroom. Like, all of it was used. Like, I did use the water, right? So I think this is like just a little tip that I know Isabel and I try and remind ourselves that like everything is in exchange for something, especially with money. Like you said, it can be so hard when, okay, I do have a bill tomorrow though. So yes, I'm trying to stay positive, but then it's like that money's taken from my account and I'm just like, oh, like I needed that money for something else and now it's there. But it's like, okay, well, that was in exchange. Me going to buy a new outfit is in exchange for a product, and all my money is going towards something. So I think when you alter kind of how you think about like paying bills, getting gas, buying groceries, it's all, look at it as an exchange. You are getting something in return, therefore it's worth it. And you have to remind yourself, like, what I give out is going to come back to me. So even when I pay my car payment, when I go and get gas, I'm like, it's fine because it's already on its way back to me, plus some. So I try and remind myself of that, of like, just because it's going out doesn't mean it's not going to come back in.
Yeah.
And
that's a great reminder.
Exactly. And if you're putting that energy out there, like, I believe that energy will come back to you. And what I really believe it does, because I'm not huge in like believing in like the universe, you know, like we said, I believe in God and his plan for me, but I really do think it opens your mind to the things that God is placing in your life. So if I am having a really open mind about the opportunities ahead of me and in front of me, because I know like the energy I'm putting out about my money, about my career, I know that the opportunities God is placing in front of me, I'm going to be able to see more clearly.
Yeah.
When I'm negative, and I've said this, I think in the last episode, I'm so foggy. My eyes are foggy. My vision is foggy and I can't see clearly. So I'm not going to notice the opportunities that are popping up around me that could potentially give me more financial relief, that could get me and propel me even closer to where I want to be. But if I'm so focused on not having it yet, I'm just going to be miserable. And like we said with limiting beliefs, when you stay in that miserable negative mindset, you're going to do actions that feed into it, as opposed to doing the opposite of what you really want to do.
Yeah, it's a prime example of standing in your own way. It really is. Like, if you need something to motivate you to get out of a lack mindset, like when I notice I'm in it, that's what I tell myself is like, this mindset is not getting me any further in life. It's only bringing me backwards. So like, let's kick it because it's not going to do anything. And if I'm this upset about it right now, like I rather move forward because I don't want to be this upset about it tomorrow. So like, that's something I always tell myself is like, Isabel, you're standing in your own way. You're not helping yourself in any way for thinking this way. So like, even if I'm faking it, even if I'm like, you know what, like that grocery bill didn't hurt. No matter how much it hurts, I say like what you said, that was an exchange. I got food for this week. I can eat breakfast. I can have my coffee. Like I can have everything I enjoy for an exchange. And I just don't think about it. You know, like one of the things that you said right there that really struck me was like, if you think it's never, like if you think it's coming, one of the things that you said that struck me right there was when you said like you pay for an exchange for something, you have to believe it's coming back. And I think that's a big thing with the lack mindset that I just want to point out. If you guys like, when we say lack, like this is what we mean. Like when you pay for a bill, when you pay for groceries, like if you don't think that's coming back to you, like you don't think more money is going to be shoveling to you that you can't pay groceries next week, like every time you feel an expense and it hurts you, you're thinking that you're not going to have more money coming in. And that's a really bad way to be thinking because like I said, it's placing that limiting belief. You are immediately kind of like Xing your future success because you're only thinking about what you're not going to have. It's like, it's a backwards way of thinking and it's a really negative way of thinking, but it's kind of hidden behind like reality, you know, because the reality is you're not that wealthy right now, but it's like, you know, I don't know if that makes sense.
You can apply that to even what you brought up about like the gym. It's like, okay, yeah, personally, I'm not where I want to be yet. Personally, you're not where you want to be. And that's okay because I'm always trying to improve. But thinking that like, oh, I don't, you know, I'm not as muscular as I want to be right now. You're putting that lack, that limiting belief on you that you're not going to improve, that like this is the end result.
Yeah.
And you're holding, it's same thing with money. You're holding yourself back from thinking that like more is to come. And there is so much more to come. We are in our 20s. We are so young. There's so much life left to live, God willing. So it's like, I know that there's more opportunity for me. This is not the end result. My balance in my bank right now, where I'm at in my fitness career, where I'm at my personal fitness life, this is not the end for me. And you have to really focus on like, there's more to come, more abundance, more opportunity. And however you get there, that's up to you. You know, like whatever you need to tell yourself mentally to get there, you kind of have to decide too, because maybe like what I tell myself isn't going to work for Isabel or like maybe work for one of our listeners because it's personal. It has to like strike a chord too.
Yeah.
You know, like it has to be personal enough that like you can feel it in your bones almost. And I mentioned it last episode and I kind of like want to share it a little bit more because I do think it could help. So my little money jingle. Yeah. So this is like a TikTok jingle. I saw it a while ago. It's like an affirmation song and it's all about like money. And it's like, I don't really want to sing the entire thing, but I feel like
literally want you to sing it though.
People, you might hear it and like remember it from TikTok. I like remember seeing it. That's how I remember to find it recently. It was like, ching, ching, ching comes the money tree.
I wish I knew it.
I know.
Should we play it? Because I'll sing it with you.
Yeah.
Ching,
Shout
ching,
out.
ching goes the money
wait.
tree. And every time... What is
My
it?
TikTok app is blocked. One moment. Okay, I'm going to play it. Shout out to whoever created this affirmation song.
Ching, ching, ching goes the money tree. And every time it ching, money comes to me. It all flows in so abundantly. From the top, left, right, and up under me. Wave, 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 I'm a money wave. Money flow, money made. Flowing in and out, plus money saved. Debt, 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 all debt is paid. Ching, ching.
And then it goes
Ching,
like, way
ching, ching
quicker.
goes the money tree.
So that is literally, like, I know it sounds so silly. And when I started singing it at the house, everyone in my family was like, what the heck are you doing? And now I've gotten everyone on board with singing it. And like, whenever I'm feeling the slightest bit of lack, it's almost like I've created this habit to immediately sing that in my mind or like sing it out loud. When I tell you over the past 2 weeks, the opportunities that have just like showed up in front of me, and I think they truly were always coming for me, but I think I was so optimistic when it came to them and so open-minded that I was like, boom, another opportunity to make money here. Boom, another opportunity to grow my career. It just felt like things were aligning. So that's something that gets my energy really high, really positive, and that's why I'm turning to it. So that's just an example of like something personal that struck a chord with me because like it makes me feel like giddy and happy and
It's funny. It's a funny
yeah,
song
exactly.
to like sing.
it just changes my energy, and that's what it does. I'm not saying that song is gonna be the reason that like $1 million hits my bank account, but it's the energy that it's giving me that then I'm giving off to all the opportunities in front of me and just like my life situation and everything that's happening is making me feel good.
Well,
And that's what you need to turn to is something that's going to make you feel good.
Yeah, I was going to say it's allowing you to feel positive about the future opportunities. Like what I mean by that is you may have still gotten these opportunities, Katira. You may still have been like seeing them, but I don't know if you would have felt as good about them. I feel like you would have been like, oh, whatever. Like it's still not enough to cover the grocery bill. It's still not enough to do this. I'm just using like those things as an example.
Yeah.
But instead, because you like sang this tune and like have been singing it for a bit, like you approach that as like, oh my God, look, like an extra class to teach. Like that's that's more money flowing into my account. That worked. Like,
No.
you know what I mean? It's just a
Yeah.
lot more of a positive aura towards it. And I really feel like, you know, we're talking all about how to pull yourself out of this lack mindset, guys. I think that's the common theme. Like Kateri said, it's going to be different for all of you how you do it, but positivity, the opposite of lack, abundance, right? That's what you need to focus on is when you focus on abundance, that's how you're going to get yourself out of it. And to me, the easiest way to do that is just with gratitude. I always feel like when I
Took the words out of my mouth, literally.
yeah, like that's where I was going is like gratitude really is the solution here. It's the opposite of the lack. It's the abundance. When you focus on what you do have, you're seeing everything around you as like a gift in your life and like, oh, okay, like I have this. And you kind of open your eyes to like more that's coming. Like when I reflect on my past 21 years of life, I'm like, oh my God, it's been so abundant. It's been so fruitful. What else is in store for me? Like there's going to be so much more coming. Look how much has already been given to me. And that is normally how I feel after I practice gratitude, because I then list everything that I have to be grateful for. Like people, sorry, I'm rambling, but people, I feel like don't really resonate with gratitude, maybe because it feels super surface level sometimes, but I feel like even saying the surface level things of like, I have a water bottle, I have a lipstick, like all of those things, like those are important things in your life. And just recognizing that you literally have stuff that other people may not have is a great way to think, like get you to shift from lacking to abundance.
Because truly, like down to the nitty gritty of like, all right, yeah, I just put on lip gloss. That's an amazing thing that I have the ability to purchase that, own it, use it. Like, I know it sounds so little, but there's people that can't even afford that. That don't even maybe know what it is because they don't have access to like a phone or Wi-Fi to anything to see what it is. And I know it sounds so stupid, but like if you get down to the nitty gritty of that, you can see how much you really do already have. And it's going to just make you feel better because then you're just grateful for everything you already do have. So there's like a part of me that sits and it's like, you know what? If this was everything I was ever meant for, I'm good because I have so much in my life. So it even brings me back to, of course, I want more for myself, but I don't need all the material items that come with wanting more for my life, right? Like I think it grounds me in a way that makes me feel not like content, but just so grateful for everything that I do have and grateful for what God has blessed me with thus far, that I'm like, you know what? If this is where I'm supposed to be, like, I'm just happy that you brought me here.
Yeah.
So thank you, God. You know, like
Exactly right.
it does ground you again as well. That's why I think gratitude is one of the best ways to do it, because it doesn't leave you feeling like money hungry or like materialistic.
Yeah.
Like, you have to focus on what you already do have, and that's a really awesome thing to do.
And sometimes we all need that reminder. Like, it's okay to admit that. Like, you guys know, I think you know, Gatiri and I, like, do I want a G-Wagon? Absolutely. But when I do my gratitude, it totally grounds me in a sense where, like, I'm repeating you, but it does ground me in a sense where I'm like, okay, like, I'm not focusing on all those like material items. I'm focusing on like the roof over my head, the sheets, the different types of clothing that I have options because it's hot out. What type of shirt do I want to wear today? All of those things. So it really does ground you. I also think the biggest, like, that's super important to have gratitude, because if you continue on with this lack mindset, you're never going to be happy even when you do get it, right? So say you don't stand in your way. Say you can live through life with this lack mindset and it doesn't get in the way. You're going to get all the things that you wanted and you're still not really going to see them. You're still going to feel like you're lacking, because what's the next best thing you can get? So I feel like if you approach it with this gratitude and abundance, like, you're going to take everything that you're given in life and be like, oh my God, that's amazing. And you're going to be so appreciative of it. And that's going to feel really great, because if you're living a life where you're never really reaching your goal or feel like you're not reaching it, you're going to be miserable, literally your entire life.
Yeah, like, you're going to get that G-Wagon and honestly, like, forget that you even wanted it that bad. And you're going to be like, well, actually, I want a Ferrari.
Yeah.
You know, like, just, you're, like you said, thinking of the next best thing, and that's not a great place to live.
No.
Because that can go down a very slippery slope. And then I just think, like, about my future self, like, being 90 years old. I don't want to still be harping on, like, what I didn't get in life and, like, materials. And it is hard in our world too, because everything is buying the next best thing. Or, like, you go on Instagram, people are posting, like, their Amazon storefront, TikTok shop, you know, links to their clothes. Everything is just about, like, consuming more. And I get caught up in that. Like, I see a bag, I'm like, that's so cute. I don't have enough purses. Like, I literally said that to Israel the other day. I'm like, I actually don't have, like, enough purses for, like, every occasion, every outfit. I'm like, do you know how ridiculous that sounds? I have a whole, like, what's it called, clothing rack hanging all my purses, hanging
I have
up.
a bin of purses in the closet
Like,
right now.
it's just ridiculous that I would even make that comment. And it's not until this very moment that I'm realizing, like, how crazy that sounded. Because we live in a world that's, like, pushing more and more and more. And listen, I don't think there's anything wrong, like, if you want to live abundantly in that way. Like, I live abundantly in that way as well.
Yeah,
Just
there's nothing
maybe
wrong
like,
with it.
Yeah. But I think recognizing, like, that's not the goal, is to, like, have, like, the biggest house and the nicest car and the biggest purse collection. Like, that's not the goal. It's really to feel, like, good about myself on the inside and, like, what I'm putting out into the world.
Yeah. Because, like, ask yourself, would you feel good about yourself, the life that you've created, and your family, without all of those items? Because you never know what can happen in your life. That could all be taken away. Every material could be taken away within an instant, and what's going to be left standing is you and the family that you've created around yourself. And if you're not happy with that, then that's truly the real lack at the end of the day. So, like, it's important to just be okay at the not very bottom, but, like, okay with where you are and excited about what's to come. Exactly. You're allowed to be excited, but you have to be content and appreciative, I think, for what you have now.
And I always like to remind myself, when you die, when you leave this earth and you go to heaven, you're not bringing any of that with you. So when I face my maker, I can't show all the bags that I got to buy in my lifetime. Like, I'm showing who I am in the life I created personally. Whoa. You know, so you have to think about that too. And I didn't mean to take it down that path, but
well, Gatiri, that's really crazy that you just said that, because we didn't have not discussed that at all. But I had this reflection on my prayer yesterday. I, like, went on a random walk and I started praying to God, and that was the reflection that came across me. And I had no intention. Wow. I had no intention of talking to him about it. I just came across this reflection of, like, I was talking to him about money, actually, in particular, because I've been kind of feeling guilty for wanting money and, like, wanting so much. But I have a new reflection on that. If you guys have interest in hearing that, just let us know in the comments. I'll be sure to expand on it in, like, another episode. But the reflection in particular was that I stress so much. I feel so, like, I get into that lack mindset so much about things on earth. And it's really funny, because this is literally what I was saying to him. I was like, God, it's really funny, because the end goal is you. It's like I'm creating this life for this earth and this earth only. Like sometimes I feel like as humans we forget that there is an afterlife, like that is the end goal. And I'm so worried about life now because it's kind of like the instant now. It's what's in front of me. But if heaven was in front of me, would I really be caring about everything that I care about right now? No. So it's like, okay, I'm only thinking of these things because that's my life right now. But like, what's it going to be like when I get to the end goal? The end goal is heaven. And we are so quick to forget that the end goal is heaven because we're living life right now, right? So our life is focused on like, what is our future like on this earth? But we also need to think about what our future is with God. And that's really what matters. And I think when I remind myself of that, I'm like, oh, wow. Like my stress, the lack mindset, it all fades away because I'm like, I don't want to be thinking that way. And I just think that's also something really good to reflect on. It's funny that you mentioned that because I've never had that realization before. And I was like, I'm focusing so much on earth. Earth doesn't really matter.
It does come back to thinking about more. So like you said, there's more than this life. It's like the afterlife as well. So again, that pulls you out of that lack mindset because you're thinking about more to come in the future. And it's not all final right now. Like where you are in your life is not final. And anything can happen at any hour of any day. And I know that life is not promised. So it's like if you aren't feeling great about maybe who you are personally, like take every day as a chance to improve that, as a chance to get better, as a chance to feel more positive and feel more abundant with your life. Like you can really change your perspective and your viewpoints in a split second. You just have to kind of make the decision to do it and make the decision to work on it continuously. Because like everything we talk about, it's never going to be perfect. And sometimes it's going to be harder to pull yourself out of it when it's like more a dire situation, right? Like say, you know, you're late on your mortgage, you're late on all your credit cards, like money is going to feel insane and it's going to be really hard to pull yourself out of that. So pulling on habits now that can help like ground you and create a foundation for you to work off of if you ever come to a situation where it's really negative and it's like a really shitty situation, because life happens and shitty situations happen. You got to like set yourself up to like work off something, to like bounce ideas off people, to talk to other people and create like a good environment around you.
Exactly right.
So on all this lack talk, do you know what we are lacking, sis?
What?
Likes, subscribers. But I know that there's more. I know that there is more to come. And
exactly.
How can they do that? How can we get more? How can we get there?
Guys, how can we get more? With your help. If you just take action, you can help us fix this lack. You can give us the abundance. All right. Guys, like, subscribe, comment, follow, interact with us, please. Share this video to a friend. Push out our podcast. We are trying to grow. We want to feel the abundance of no sugar in our lives, guys, and you guys can help us with it. So please like and share this video and just continue to support us because we want to grow and we want you guys to grow too. That is the objective here. So let's grow together.
The other day, I just want to point out, last episode, we got a pretty random comment on our YouTube. So I feel like the video was pushed to this person's channel. And if she's listening, just know that meant the world to us, one.
Yeah.
And it was like a really cool moment to be like, wow, one, that reached them and it affected them in a way that they felt called to comment. And it was just a really good feeling, like feeling like something that we were saying meant something to someone so random who doesn't even know who Kateria is well are on a personal level other than that episode.
Yeah.
So it's things like that. Like you can make other people feel that way by sharing our stuff.
Yeah, exactly right. It is so crazy though. Like you guys probably have no idea. Like one like, we're like, oh my God. Like,
and like what that, yeah, like literally I woke up and I saw that comment. I immediately screenshotted, sent it to Isabel, and I was like, oh my God, look at this. Like it was just the best feeling in the world because I felt like that episode helped her in a way and she needed to hear what we were saying. And I was like, wow. Awesome. Like if we help one person today with that episode, I am happy and I'm proud.
So we succeeded. We succeeded.
Exactly.
So,
but anyway, we hope you enjoyed this episode and we hope you are having an amazing day so far, an amazing rest of your week, and we will see you next time.